So I've had some luck this past couple of weeks. I have, hit some pretty good record collections, which you can go back and look in the playlist on videos for vinyl. I think I've called it. I don't know. But I do other things other than records. As you can see, this is my retail store, brick and mortar, where I've been here for 20 years selling this kind of stuff. Collectibles, vintage goods, records, all the good stuff. I guess I should introduce myself. My name is Jay. I have a store, as I just mentioned, in Dunnville, Ontario. It's a small southern Ontario town right near the shores of Lake Erie, if you want to map it out. And I've been a seller on eBay since 1998, primarily doing cards and smaller things, some toys and things like that as well. Mostly my videos, at least the ones that seem to get the most interest, are my records and vinyl stuff. But I do other stuff. So I said do, classic. But I went to a collectible show this weekend, and I did some garage selling, and I also hit a few thrift stores. I will say I don't get much from thrift stores, very rarely, but I did really well at this one. A record that I actually have wanted for a long time. Just popped up out of the blue. So I'll show that. I'll show all the other things I picked up, and we'll do that right now. So that's all the stuff right there. We'll just go over it real quick. Again, it came from basically a collectible show, the Woodstock, Ontario Nostalgia Show, and a few garage sale hits, and thrift stores, surprisingly. Thrift stores, just, I don't, like I said, I don't get a lot of stuff at the thrifts anymore. So when it does pop up, I'm pretty excited about it. So we'll just get into it. First thing, I'll do the first things first. The best find for me was that. It is a 1994 pressing of Portishead's Glory Box. It's just a 12-inch single. It's a UK pressing. And as you can see, it's in pretty decent shape. It's not the best. It's got a bit of split at the top there. This one is going into my personal collection. Quick story about, notice I said quick, I'm going to try to do, I got a few comments about my blabbering. You know what? That's what the mute button's for, or the fast forward button. Give them both a try. But this basically, thank you. Thanks from the peanut gallery at the back. That's my better half. If you sound what sounds like a drunken raccoon scratching about back there, trying to get her orders together for the week.
The word better half.
There you go. So yeah, it's Portishead Glory Box. It was amongst all of the usual dregs you find at the thrift store nowadays in the record section. It was like James Last, Engelbert Humperdinck, all those things. And then that stuck right in the middle between Kenny Rogers, The Gambler, and I believe it was Engelbert Humperdinck's Greatest Hits. And I kind of stared at it for a bit. Unfortunately, it didn't have a price on it. It was the only one that wasn't priced, which has always, I'm wondering, I have a conspiracy theory about maybe an employee put it there or something. I don't know. So I took it up to the girl, the lady who was working, and said, hey, this doesn't have a price on it. And she said, well, I'll go, give me a minute and I'll go price it. This has backfired on me before because I've taken it up to people and asked for a price. And I've watched, they go to, they use Google, at least in the Value Villages and Goodwills I've seen. And they Google things, and that's the price they go with, whatever pops up first. She said, what's the band? And before I could answer, she's like, oh, I see it, Glory Box. So she went and looked up Glory Box, clearly couldn't find much on that, and then came out with a $249 price tag stuck on it. So totally happy. Great find. I would have been super happy to find this at a record show. So yeah, the other thrift store stuff that I got, and we'll do it like that, was these right here, which are a pair of Canadian military snowshoes. The frames are made of magnesium, apparently, And then this is a coated aluminum wire. And obviously, you know, made for Arctic maneuvers and things like that. These are virtually indestructible. They were at the the Salvation Army. I walked in and they had $12.99 for the set. Totally happy with that. Grabbed those. They sell between 50 and 100 bucks on eBay. I've seen pairs of them do that over time. If you just use the Terapeak search option and go back far enough. That same day, I also picked up these. This is a single on the Steed label. It's the Illusion. They're like a psychedelic sort of garagey rock band. And then this. This is one of these where I don't know how good it's going to be. It's a small Canadian label called Ambassador Records, and is a singer named Marion Sharp. I haven't listened to it, but apparently, according to Discogs, it's sort of folky type stuff. It was in the, I believe, 68 or 69. You can hear the dogs howling upstairs. Classic. So yeah, 68, 69. None have sold, but there are two listed up on Discogs, and both of them are, I believe, over $200 each. I have, again, another conspiracy theory that a lot of times people will put this stuff up there and then they will act like they've bought it to create a sales history. And then from then on, everybody says, oh, that's what it's worth. I don't think this is worth that. I checked PopSite. There's no sales history for it on PopSite. So again, you do have to be wary about one-offs that have really big price tags on Discogs. But who knows? Maybe it is worth that. I don't know. And then I also picked up this really nice Orleans fantastic early R&B. And you can see it's the Canadian pressing on quality. Was originally released in the States on Cameo. And that was like $250, I think, at the Value Village. So yeah, I believe that is everything from the thrift stores. So next, we'll do the garage sales. Some of the stuff I can't show you. I'll do a quick glance. It is an entire box. Oh, there's my toe. Of Easy Rider magazines from the 80s. I think there's a few from the 70s, all the way through to the 90s. There's like 70 odd of them. And I think we settled on 40 bucks for the box. And as I have said, when you can buy things for under $1, because everybody knows like $1 is my trigger word. I'll buy anything for $1 virtually. You will always, you should always buy it. I mean, last couple of videos ago, I was at a garage sale, and I bought a massive bunch of magazines that had all different kinds of covers and subject matter in there. And one of them had a Rush, the band Rush cover from a 1978 Canadian Newsweek type magazine called Maclean's. And I just sold it yesterday on eBay for 75 US. I only paid $20 for the whole box of probably over 100 different magazines. So again, when one thing can pay for all the things, just buy it. It's always the way it is. So yeah, that's great. I can't go through it again because YouTube will probably get a bit thingied about some of the covers. That guy also had all these posters. Now, most of them have to do with Harley Davidsons. They're some pinups as well from various different car companies and things like that. I asked him how much he wanted per poster, and he's like, just give me $1 for the box. So yeah, again, $1 for the box. What are you gonna do? I just bought it. I don't even know what I'm gonna do with them because I don't generally ship posters unless they're very valuable. These aren't. These are all like $5 type thing. So that's it. This also came from a garage sale this past weekend, and it's I don't know. It looks kind of thing. It is made in England. I have seen several of these on eBay. This one does have an older chip that has wear to it. But this was clearly never used as a mug, I don't think. but you know, there are sales that are all over the place, and some clearly were later reproductions that were made in China mugs, but this one is England, and it does have the right look and the right wear to me to be an original from the UK. I don't know if it's a 60s one, possibly could be 70s. I don't think they were making much in the way in the UK in terms of cups and stuff into the 70s. So I'm thinking probably it is like a late 60s, early 70s piece, but I could be wrong. I got to do a bit more research, but that's my feeling on it. And if it is, you know, it's a $50, $60 cup to the right person on eBay. So again, pick that up at a garage sale. Don't think it was very much, a couple of bucks. I should probably write this stuff down. I do eventually write it down, but it takes me a while because I get excited at garage sales, which you're kind of supposed to. The rest of this stuff all came from the Woodstock Nostalgia Show, which is basically a whole bunch of dealers, like a collectible show type thing, like, or a comic book show or a record show, but just for nostalgia and collectibles. And this is what I got. Oh, wait, I'm missing the piece. Where did the... Hey, Seuss, where did you put my silver cup?
Behind you on the floor.
Behind me? Oh, there we go. Okay, yeah. Here's a couple of things that... How's that for good camera work? Probably should have that out, but I can't be bothered. So, yeah, this is basically all of it. And we'll go through it real quick because, as you know, I've told people before, I do sell on eBay, but I primarily sell smalls and little collectibles and things like that are easily shipped through the mail. And most of this stuff, these ones in the plastic baggies here, I think it was $15 or for the whole thing of plastic baggies there. So this is 1977. It would be a counter thing. You could probably stick it on to the tills for McDonald's Sundays. Some of these I have no idea what they are. That's 1990s, but it's a lenticular little card. These were, I believe it's a full set, given away with Tetley Tea, and it's Canadian Historic Pictures. And then this one's probably late because it's Harry Potter, but again, sealed in the celluloid. The thing I will tell you about cereal stuff is some of the sealed stuff, even new, goes for ridiculous money. I had a cereal premium, and I had a couple of them that were sealed from the 1980s, and I sold them for over 700, nearly 800 US a piece on eBay for a period there. They were a cereal toy, sealed in the celluloid, apparently super duper rare. I didn't realize that, but a lot of this stuff is, now I'm not saying you're going to get that for something like this, but just keep your eye out. If it's a buck, buy it. These were, you know, I don't know how many things were there, but here's one that's Kraft singles. You got them in cheese in Canada, and it is, what's the thing? Peter Pan from Disney. This is an earlier one because I have some of these and sold them on eBay, but these were given away with, I believe it was Post cereal. There were two versions. There was a version that actually mentions Ringling, Barnum and Bailey's Circus toys, and then ones like this that just says Circus Toys on it. Don't know why the reason for the thing. I think this might be a game, but I'm not sure because of the back. 12 O'Clock High, 20th Century Fox, which was a movie. Again, I don't know what that is. These are all winners of the Indy 500 from the past. Parkhurst in the 50s issued a series of cards, standard card size, similar to that. But these were, they made larger ones with the same images that were used for Magna Viewer. So you could project them up onto your wall, these cards. So these are double-sided, whereas the Parkhurst ones are smaller and just have information on the back. It's a 70s ticket into a show. 1980s poker game from Hostess Chips. Something sealed from Viva Puffs. Again, that, I can't tell what that is. I'll move it around, but it is probably going to end up being, it says Kellogg's Canada on it right there, 1981, I think it is. More cereal More cereal. This one is actually from the early late 1980s, possibly late 1970s. It's post-wildlife. And again, it's one of those where you have a scene and then you can do rub-offs on them. And that looks like a sandhill crane. There you go, nature. And then this Magic Pictures card there. I believe that is maybe one of the premiums. I'm not 100%. I'll have to do a bit more looking at that. I can't remember everything because I'm old. But yeah, that was like around $15 for that. And again, like one of these is going to cover the whole cost of that whole thing. So it was a simple buy. These were $5 each. They are the comics that came with the figures when you bought them, the He-Man Masters of the Universe figures. This is an American one because it does no, it's not. It's Canadian as well. So this has, you can tell the Canadian versions because they have English and French at the bottom there. En français. But added bonus, which I didn't realize when I was buying it, was this was folded up and stuck in one of them, which is the instructions for the Battle Armor Skeletor. And again, in French and English. And I'll just go through these. The artwork on these was incredible. That's the one thing about these comics. And they're all color. Yeah, and great. Better, actually, I would say, than the Marvel comics that came out later. But yeah, that's it there. And then... So those are $5 a piece, $20. I probably could have asked for cheaper. And again, these prices are in Canadian funds, so that's probably close to like $15, $16 American for those. You can look them up on eBay. They sell varying prices, but I don't think I've seen any go below $10. So there you go. This is a 1958. I paid $10 for it. Football schedule. It does have the writing on the cover. Here's the thing. It has this, which is a pullout. The actual pullout schedule. You can see how that pulls out is still in there. I've had many of these, but that's probably, I get those not very often. So it was worth it just for that alone to put in maybe a better copy of this later on. Here is, it was just $2, so sometimes I just buy paper because you never know. But this is from the Champion Spark Plug Company. It would have been the paperwork. The thing about paperwork is this stuff got thrown away. So it is spectacularly rare to find things like this. Is there a huge demand for it? No, but there's more than a $2 demand for it, I think, and I'll put that up on eBay. Here is a playbill to an Arthur Miller play. Here's the thing. I just taken a flyer on it. It was $5. It looks like 15, but when I asked the guy, he said 5. It's a 1930s play, 1955 play. It's signed June 26, 57. I don't know who that is, but then it says, "Remember me, Marlon Brando." I don't think that's Brando's signature. The playbill's worth it for an Arthur Miller play from the 50s alone for the price I paid. You know what? If that turns out to be a Brando autograph, added bonus. And I have no idea who that is. If anybody knows who that might be, why not just send me a quick thing? I'm going to do a lot more research. I'm pretty sure that's not an authentic Brando thing, but who knows? You know, you never know. Stranger things have happened to me, trust me, with regards to autographs over the years. This is probably 1930s. It's Church and Dwight, or Arm & Hammer company for soda of Montreal. People collect the Arm & Hammer cards. They collect Arm & Hammer advertising in general. This was $1, and it's great. It's basically a hints guide, helpful hints for motorists, 2-page little folded, and you can see the cars on there. Again, 1930s style cars. Another advertising piece for $1 about braking. I just love the graphics on this. The inside is equally as brilliant and colorful. This was $5. It is a, I believe, complete set of birds. Now, Parkhurst, Canada, which is the gun company that did hockey cards as well as many other things, put out a set using the exact images. They look exactly the same size as this, but they would have had Parkhurst on the back. These are from the Premier Trading Card. They were a vending machine manufacturer out of Culver City, California, Oak Manufacturing Company. And so these would have been sold usually a penny a card out of vending machines. And there is a complete set there. It's $5, you know, can't go wrong. More paperwork. I'm a sucker for firefighter stuff because I was a firefighter for about 8 years, possibly 9, I can't remember. And this is from an order from the Canadian Fire Engine Company. Probably, well, it's 1900 something, so probably 1902. And there's a filled out one and there's a blank one in there, and it was only $5. Plus, you see these prices, if I'm buying a bunch of stuff off the same people, they usually, I don't even ask, but they usually offer me a little bit of a discount. So yeah, here's another one for tires from the Gutta Percha Rubber Company. There's another one from the Gutta Percha Rubber Company in Toronto. And I think that is also probably from that. Automobile stuff is a fairly easy sell. It's not super fast, but it does go eventually if you have it priced right. It was $8 for 3 pieces. Again, no brainer for me. This was $10. 1956 Little Lulu. It's from the Kleenex thing. You can make a little stand out of her. I got a bit of a discount because I bought this guy from the same person. They had $30 on it, which was a little bit expensive for what it is. It is a celluloid action figure, still in pretty good shape, from, I don't know if you can make that out there, Occupy Japan. So this would have been right after the war. Japan started producing a lot of toys. The Americans were trying to rebuild the sort of Japanese economy because, well, we all know what happened. They got wiped out. Humans. Sadly, but they so they started a toy industry, and they did them in celluloid. There were tin, was a lot of the Japanese wind-up tin things. So that you know, is a nice piece. She gave me a deal on that little Lulu. Well, the Lulu I paid 10 for. This had 30 on it, and I was looking at it, and she said you can have it for 15 if you take the Lulu. So $25 for the two. For me, again, no brainer. These songbooks are again not super fast sellers, but they eventually go if you have them priced right. This one is sort of a lot of the, for lack of a better word, hillbilly music out of the States, early country music. These are the Georgia Wildcats with Hoyt Slim Bryant and Clayton McMicken. And it's a songbook. And then the other one underneath it, there were 2 in there for $5, another songbook. These comics were $10 for the 3. I'm kind of picking up anything with Doom on the cover right now because apparently the next X-Men Marvel thing is going to revolve around Doom. So I just picked that up. And then these were 2 Avengers, which, again, they were cheap. But they got the Scarlet Witch on the cover, so, you know, not a great deal of money to be made. I picked this one up for myself. It was $15. It is the complete recordings of, it's the Impulse studio recordings from Coltrane. So everything's on there. It was just $20. You get the booklet. I think it's 8 CDs. And it's got this nice steel little case on there, so I couldn't pass that up. These guys were the first thing I bought when I walked in. There was a gentleman there. He had them on the table, and I asked how much are your Joes, and he said 35, and I'm like, each? He's like, no, for everything. And the dealer who was set up beside him was bitter because he's like, seriously, for all that? And I was like, dude, do not sink my purchase here. That's not nice. And he was bitter. And he's like, oh, if I'd known they were that, I would have bought them off you. And the guy was like, well, you didn't ask. And so I bought them. And that other guy was not happy. I thought, you know what? Here's the thing. If somebody else is getting another deal, don't be a dick. Don't sink it for them. That's, a dealer sets their prices. And if somebody else gets it and gets a good deal, don't screw it up for them because you've got lots of good deals as well in the past. And nobody was there to sink it for him. Anyways, yeah, they're not in the best shape. This guy's Joe's hands are missing. He has, at some point been done camouflage. I'm calling it camouflage because hoping it's not blackface. But the best part for me was this. It's just a bag of accessories. And some of these are the medic stuff. So there you've got a little tear on the vinyl there for one of the stretchers. Here's another freestanding stretcher that has the legs in canvas plus the pup tent connected to it, which is kind of cool. That's a sleeping bag, some camo mesh, a first aid flag, and then one piece of G.I. Joe Hong Kong camo jacket. And this is cool because I've never seen this before. It's actually barbed wire. So you stretch these two things out, and it is real wire. These are obviously plastic barbs, not real barbs. So you can stretch that out and put it out. So again, 35 bucks. Yeah, okay. I'm not going to argue with that. Figure one of these Joes will go for that, and the rest of the stuff is just bonus. So I was happy with that. And perhaps the sleeper of the group is this. Now, it is clearly a trophy cup of some kind, and it is clearly plated, not sterling, but it is silver plate, and you can see the copper underneath, which is clearly an earlier thing to use copper like that over silver plate. I was looking at it, and the gentleman said it's from 1888. And it is. And he told me it's a horse racing thing. So it is I can't read that, Carnoustie races, 1888, won by Maddie, property of, I can't read that, something, W. Witten. The guy said that the family that he got all this out of the estate, had Scottish roots, so I haven't done research on that to see if maybe it was a Scottish horse race of some kind. But a Victorian trophy is fairly desirable, apparently. Again, not something I deal in on a regular basis. If you look on eBay and just put in Victorian trophy, some of the sterling ones go in the thousands, and I'm talking $4,000 to $5,000 for some of them in the past sales history. The plate ones still carry a lot of value. This was only 20 bucks. I'm figuring you can't lose for a horse racing trophy, even if it's just a small, tiny, insignificant race. It's just an interesting piece. And it's got that great look with the right age to it. Some people love perfect things that look amazing, and then others like things that show the age. Because what's 1888? You're talking, it's like 130, 140 years old. My math isn't great. I was just off the top of my head. So it should show some wear. And this has been clearly over-polished over the years and well-loved. But what a great piece. And I think, honestly, I don't know. It's one of those things where I think I might just stick this up for auction, start it at $100 and see where it goes. So pretty happy with that. That'll be the sleeper. I love having things where it didn't cost me much. I have an inkling that it might do well, and you never know. And it's a great learning experience because now I know a little bit about Victorian trophies. And if I ever come across any, I'll know what is worth picking up and what isn't, sort of. And that's the best thing about this. The best way to do this, I know people are, is just, if things are cheap, buy them, you learn. Over time, you're going to stop sort of knowing you get the gut feeling, I guess you call it, of what's worth getting and what's not. And you can begin to specialize in certain things. So it's a good way to learn. Even if you're really bad at this, you're still not going to lose. If you're not spending a lot of money, you're not going to lose a lot of money. You can just sell it for whatever you paid for it. You're out some time. But, you might end up getting some really valuable stuff that you don't know. So that's it. Oh, no, wait. Sorry. My wife moved stuff on me again. I got this at that other garage sale with the posters and the Easy Rider magazines. It's probably 1970s Electrohome, Electronics International. Sorry, not Electrohome. Multiband radio. That's the model number there, made in Hong Kong. So that sort of indicates it's from the 70s or 60s. And it just had a really cool look to it. So apparently they're about 50 to 60 bucks too on eBay. I haven't seen if it works or anything like that. It was $1. What's my trigger word? $1. All right, folks. I hope you were able to find some cool stuff. And yeah, we'll hopefully have another video next week of stuff that I managed to stumble upon. Bye.